give us wisdom, knowledge, and discernment, so that we can guide and make decisions that are the best decisions for our constituents, for the whole city. Lord, I pray for everybody here, pray for a safe return to their homes, and we thank you for the opportunity. In your name, Jesus Christ, we pray and we thank you. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we allow the mayor to go on vacation. So if I make any mistakes, feel free to correct me. All right, for the approval of the minutes, they've been distributed. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, minutes pass. Presentation, we have a legislative update from Representative Spencer. Welcome.
Thank you. So I see you let Mayor Reese go on vacation. Well deserved, I'm sure. But commissioners, thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for all of the constituents here in Winter Garden for being here tonight. The legislative session was one of the longest legislative sessions in the history of Florida. And so there were a lot of positives that came out of the session. There were some challenges, but I feel like, and hopefully from the update, you'll see that we made some real progress, even though we have some areas that we do need to focus on. But again, overall, I think we made some progress for this region and for House District 45. One of the most important local wins was the $1.5 million that we were able to secure for the Northwest Wastewater Extension as part of the South Lake Apopka initiative. These funds will help support needed infrastructure and help protect the Lake Apopka watershed, an area that has long been central to our environmental and our economic future here in West Orange County. We also delivered some other regional investments, $1.3 million for Windermere's water system improvements, and we also secured $150,000 for the Central Florida Mother's Milk Bank, which provides mother's milk to some of our most vulnerable preemie babies. Commissioners, as you know, and I'm sure you're experiencing, affordability remains a major concern for families across Central Florida and right here in Winter Garden. We continue funding for the Live Local Act, which supports workforce housing near job centers. We were able to pass a budget that includes more than $2 billion in tax relief. That includes the phase out of the business rent tax. Now, this is a tax that business owners have been seeking phase out of for decades. We also were able to extend some sales tax holidays. But in spite of this, core cost drivers like housing and insurance continue to be unresolved. And that's why we will continue to focus in the next legislative session on trying to find solutions to the affordability issues. We also focus heavily on job readiness and local economic development. As you know, small businesses are the backbone of our communities. They're the ones who write the checks for Little League baseball and basketball. And that's why I supported expanding access to state-level grants and technical assistance for entrepreneurs. These programs help small business owners navigate the permitting, the licensing, and also find access to capital, particularly in communities like Winter Garden that don't have large-scale economic development offices. We took additional steps to strengthen our workforce pipeline. New legislation created a performance-based funding model for apprenticeships to make sure that taxpayer dollars are going to programs that deliver actual results. We also passed new requirements to ensure students in hands-on training programs, whether it be in healthcare, areas like the trades or infrastructure. In these areas, they can earn academic credit and access career guidance. That matters in fields where Central Florida faces worker shortages. And also, we have growing demand in a lot of those fields. This year's budget also includes pay increases for law enforcement and first responders, as well as expanded support for 24/7 mobile crisis teams. These teams provide mental health support during emergencies and help reduce pressure on law enforcement. We also maintain investment in clean water and sewer infrastructure. These projects protect natural resources and ensure our communities are ready for responsible growth. Now, looking forward, we're also preparing for state-level discussions on property taxes. Now, lawmakers are beginning to float proposals that would reshape how cities like Winter Garden fund essential services. Now, these discussions include potential changes to homestead exemptions, caps on local millage rates, and others. And as these proposals move forward, I want to make sure that any changes protect homeowners without weakening cities like Winter Garden's ability to invest in public safety, to invest in infrastructure, and economic development. Now, of course, there were parts of this session that I did not support. Several bills passed that would limit the authority of local government. That includes preemptions on housing policy, tenant protections, environmental, and workforce regulations. Now, I believe that cities should retain the ability to make decisions that reflect your local priorities. We also oppose the continued expansion of private school vouchers without accountability, because public dollars being diverted to private institutions with few standards of oversight is a trend that may be weakening the stability of our neighborhood schools, like Lake Whitney or Lakewood Elementary, Lakeview Middle. Now, especially in working class and rural communities like Winter Garden, we depend on these schools to educate our students, and we want to make sure that they're properly funded. And despite growing pressure from homeowners, the legislature did pass meaningful property insurance reform. Insurers remain shielded from accountability while families in the region continue to pay rising premiums. Now, even so, we were able to make real progress. We brought home targeted funding, we supported small business growth, we invested in workforce training, we improved safety and infrastructure. Now, at the same time, we stay honest about where more work is needed, especially on insurance, on housing, and on local control. So, commissioners, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your leadership here in Winter Garden. I want to thank you for your continued collaboration and partnership as I work with you for a stronger Winter Garden in Tallahassee. So thank you all.
Thank you. All right, second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinances, City Attorney, Ordinance 2513.
Certainly.
2518, 2519.
Ordinance 2513, an ordinance of the City of Winter Garden, Florida, rezoning approximately 4.71 plus or minus acres located at 14451, 14423, 14411, 14375, and 14345 West Colonial Drive, generally located north of West Colonial Drive, west of Hyde Park Circle, and south of Royal View Circle, from C2, Arterial Commercial District, to PCD, Planned Commercial Development, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
We'll take them separately.
Yes.
Okay. Planning Director Carson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. The applicant is requesting to rezone the 4.71 acre property located at 14451, 14423, 14411, 14375, and 14345 West Colonial Drive from C2 Arterial Commercial to Planned Commercial Development, or PCD, to permit the development of 4 new commercial buildings. This PCD will permit retail, office, and restaurant uses in 3 of the buildings, and the 4th will be occupied by Solomon's Auto Body. The existing Solomon's building will be demolished, and the new Solomon's building will feature garage bay doors that are oriented towards the rear of the building to shield all of the car storage. The proposed PCD rezoning is consistent with the city's comp plan, the code of ordinances, and the West State 50 overlay requirements. And so with that, staff recommends approval and adoption of ordinance 25-13. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none, this is a public hearing. I'd like to open the public hearing. If anyone wishes to comment on this ordinance. Seeing none. Were there any more comments from commission? Okay, close the public hearing. Is there any more comments from commission or questions? Hearing none, we need a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 25-13.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion passes unanimously. Ordinance 2518.
Ordinances 2518, 2519, 2520. Ordinance 2518, an ordinance of the city of Winter Garden, Florida, providing for the annexation of certain additional lands generally described as approximately 1.88 plus or minus acres located at 1150, 1158, 1166, and 1204 Avalon Road, north of Rolling Rock Way, south of West Colonial Drive, east of Tucker Oaks Boulevard, and west of Avalon Road, into the city of Winter Garden, Florida, redefining the city boundaries to give the city jurisdiction over said property, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. Ordinance 25-19. An ordinance of the city of Winter Garden, Florida, amending the future land use map of the Winter Garden comprehensive plan by changing the land use designation of real property generally described as approximately 1.88 plus or minus acres located at 1150, 1158, 1166, and 1204 Avalon Road, north of Rolling Rock Way, south of West Colonial Drive, east of Tucker Oaks Boulevard, and west of Avalon's Road, from Orange County rural agricultural to city commercial, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. And ordinance 25-20, an ordinance of the city of Winter Garden, Florida, rezoning real property generally described as approximately 1.88 plus or minus acres located at 1150, 1158, 1166, and 1204 Avalon Road, north of Rolling Rock Way, south of West Colonial Drive, east of Tucker Oaks Boulevard, and west of Avalon Road, from Orange County A1 Citrus Rural District to City C3 Professional Office District, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Planning Director Carson.
The applicant is requesting to annex 1.88 acres of land located at 1150, 1158, 1166, and 1204 Avalon Road into the city, assign a future land use designation of commercial and rezone to C3 Professional Office District. The subject property consists of 2 parcels developed with single-family structures and 2 vacant parcels. After annexation, the applicant intends to convert one of the existing structures to a commercial building and open a professional office. Any new development will be required to go through the city's site plan review before approval. So with that, staff recommends approval and adoption of ordinances 25-18, 25-19, and 25-20. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the commission? Hearing none, this is a public hearing. We'd like to open the public hearing if anyone wishes to comment on this ordinance or the ordinances. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and we need a vote.
I will move to approve ordinance.
Wait, I got a correction. We do so.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna vote on each one separately, so
Okay.
25, yeah.
2519. That's okay, I'm gonna do
Move
it
to
right.
approve 25-18.
18, okay. Second, we have a motion and a second, and we opened it up for public hearing, so then we close the public hearing unless anybody wishes to speak on that. Okay. So we have a first and a second. Okay.
25-18, yes, aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve 25-19.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So ordinance 2519, it's a public hearing. Does anyone wish to speak on 2519? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Were there any other questions from the
I'll
commission?
move to approve 25-19. See if you get a second.
have a motion and a second, all in favor? Opposed? There is no other one. Motion carries unanimously.
Do you want to do the public hearing for the next one before I move to approve it?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to, yeah. All right, ordinance 25-20, it's a public hearing. If anyone from the public wishes to speak on that ordinance? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing.
I'll move to approve 25-20.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have to vote in a second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay. Ordinance 25-21.
Ordinance 25-21, an ordinance of the City of Winter Garden, Florida, amending the City of Winter Garden fiscal year 2024 to 2025 budget, providing for severability and effective date. The revenues of this budget would be general fund, $348,406. General fund police impact fee, $140,000. Utility operating fund, $500,000. Stormwater fund, $314,092 for a total of $1,302,498 with expenditures that match.
Thank you. Finance Director Samoka.
Good evening. This ordinance amends the current year budget to account for changes that have occurred throughout the fiscal year. Exhibit 1 lists the adjustments proposed by staff, and staff recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions from the commission?
Can't question this one, you guys did good on your own budget.
All right, hearing none, this is a public hearing. It's open to anyone who wishes to speak. Okay, hearing none, are there any further questions? Oh, gotta close the public hearing, and I need a vote.
Motion to approve ordinance 25-21.
And I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. Is there any other discussion? I don't think we do that after the first and the second. Okay.
You can do whatever you want, you're running the meeting.
I'm here today. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ordinance 25-22.
Ordinance 25-22, an ordinance of the City of Winter Garden, Florida, amending section 22-26, revising the definition of solicitor, amending section 22-27, prohibiting certain actions of solicitors, agents, or peddlers, amending section 22-30, governing requirements and procedures for solicitor permits, amending section 22-34, relating to exemptions from solicitation, permitting requirements for nonprofit entities, creating section 22-35, establishing a procedure for residents to opt out of solicitations, providing for severability, conflicts, codification, and an effective date.
Thank you. Planning Director Carson.
Thank you. The city has initiated a code amendment that revises several of our regulations pertaining to solicitors. And just to recap, those revisions include revising the definition of solicitor to include those requesting charitable donations or conducting surveys for commercial purposes, while still allowing religious and political canvassing. Expanding the list of prohibited activities, including banning soliciting in the city's public rights of way. Updating the solicitor permitting process to require each individual solicitor to apply separately and be at least 18 years of age. Clarifying that nonprofit groups are required to obtain a solicitor's permit and follow all solicitation rules. However, they can request a waiver of the permit fee. And finally, creating a no solicitation list, giving residents and business owners the ability to opt out of having solicitors visit their property. This list will be managed by the police department and shared with all solicitor permit holders. Residents and business owners will have the option to allow only charitable solicitors visit their property as well. And I do want to note that there has been one change that was added since the last meeting. We wanted to clarify that these regulations do not pertain to panhandlers, as we already have a code section that outlines regulation around panhandling in the city, and those would not change with this ordinance. Specifically, under section 22-26 definitions, we added the following sentence. Individuals requesting donations for their personal benefit rather than for the benefit of an organization or cause are classified as panhandlers and are required to follow the regulations outlined in City Code Chapter 50, Article 4, rather than the provisions of this article. And again, this ordinance is intended to protect public safety, ensure accountability, and give community members more control over solicitations at their homes or places of business. And so with that, staff recommends approval and adoption of ordinance 25-22. Happy to answer any questions.
Were there any questions from the commission?
Yeah, let's see what happens. We got any comment?
Okay. This is a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing to anyone who wishes to comment. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Are there any more?
I did want to have a comment. So, Commissioner, Mayor Pro Tem, I had asked how this came about when I went home and was reading the agenda this evening with my wife. She's like, "Oh yeah, I heard about that. You better vote for that." So, number one constituent, my wife wants this. So I will move to approve if no one else has any comments. Ordinance 25-22.
I do know, as District 1 Commissioner, I've had a lot of complaints from people downtown trying to eat, especially in the outdoor areas, and having people come up and they can't enjoy their evening. We also get a lot of people door to door. I don't know if the other districts do, and it would be nice to have an opt-out.
Yes, definitely, because especially when there's different people like really young, so you kind of wonder.
Yeah, All right.
I got my motion.
I was gonna say, if there's no further comments, we need a motion.
I'll move to approve.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye, and one for my wife.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Business, resolution 25-06.
Resolution 25-06, a resolution of the City of Winter Garden, Florida, amending the City of Winter Garden Purchasing Manual adopted by resolution number 11-08, providing for severability, conflicts, application, and an effective date.
Finance directors.
Yes, good evening. The current purchasing manual was last updated in July of 2011. The revised proposed manual incorporates updated language from Florida statutes, additional detail on city procedures, and revised purchasing thresholds. Staff recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the commission? All right, hearing none, I need a motion.
Move to approve resolution 25-06.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, recommendation to set the proposed millage rate for the fiscal year. City Manager Williams.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. We're going to start off with a little bit of good news. Obviously, in the agenda, we have an item that is requesting to set the tentative millage rate at 5.3, but the budget, as you know, is a fluid document. We've been working on it almost daily, if not multiple times a day. And with some of the most recent updates that we feel like that we can set the tentative millage rate at a lower rate. So I've updated the agenda item and printed a copy and placed on the dais for you. And I will go through the agenda item. Just like with the fire assessment, every year when we set the tentative millage rate, we always usually set the tentative millage rate higher with the intent to give us some flexibility as we go through and work the budget, ultimately with the goal of bringing it down, and that still does remain our goal to with this year to bring this down even to the existing millage rate of 4.5. So I'll jump right in. The truth in millage legislation timetable requires us to advise the property appraiser of the proposed millage rate by August 1st of each year. Staff is recommending to establish an initial millage rate of 4.8565 mils, which is 0.3565 mils above the current rate of 4.5. As I just mentioned, the commission can always reduce this rate to the current rate during the budget hearings, which will be held in September. However, we cannot increase the rate above the tentative rate without starting the whole trim process over again. This will provide us with ample time to continue to evaluate the budget for any additional reductions or cost savings or even some, hopefully, some new revenues to help us be able to achieve that goal of setting a tentative rate of 4.5. The current gross taxable value for the coming year is projected at $6,556,322,800, which represents a 7.7% increase in taxable value over fiscal year 24-25, which is an increase of $468,354,280. The current year rollback rate is calculated at 4.2012. The millage rate of 4.8565 is greater than the rollback rate of 4.2012 by 15.6%. One mill generates approximately $6,556,323 in revenue, which is budgeted at 95% of the estimated amount levied. The 24-25 fiscal year's budgeted ad valorem tax revenue is $26,300,024. We anticipate achieving that amount. We budgeted $24,063,317 in fiscal year 23-24 and recorded $24.1 million. If the current rate of 4.5 is adopted at the projected ad valorem tax revenue, it is calculated at $28,028,280. There's a lot of 2 8s and zeros there, so lottery ticket in the future. Budgeting at 95% of the estimated levy. The rollback rate of 4.2012 per thousand will produce $26,167,370, or $1.86 million less revenue than the 4.5 rate. Proposing a millage rate of up to 4.4150 would require a majority vote of the commission. Proposing a rate of 4.4151 and 4.8565 would require 2/3 of the commission, and any rate proposed in excess of 4.8565 would require a unanimous vote of the commission. Staff is proposing to set the tentative millage rate at 4.5865. The projected ad valorem tax revenue is calculated at $30,248,743 at 95% amount of levy. This increase is proposed to respond to the impact of shrinking revenues, escalating costs associated with delivering core municipal service. The Trim Act states that the millage rate established by the commission through a vote provided to the property appraiser cannot be increased after August 1st, 2025, unless each property owner is notified by mail. However, it may be lowered at the first or second public hearing without any required notification. The millage rate proposed by the commission will be sent to all property owners within Winter Garden directly after August 1st. And with that, staff would recommend approving our motion to approve to set the proposed millage rate for the fiscal year 25-26 budget at the rate of 4.8565 mils, and set the public hearing dates for the fiscal year 26 budget for the second and fourth Thursdays in September, which is 9/11/2025 and 9/25/25 at 6:30 p.m. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from commissioners?
What was the 2/3, the rates that you gotta repeat that?
For 2/3 vote of the commission, the rates is required for a rate of 4.4151 and 4.8565.
I probably have a stupid question, but the 4.41 is less than the 4.5, so why would that?
That would only require a majority vote of the commission.
Okay. And in the past, we've done this as well, so
Yeah.
we've got to.
This is not a deviation of the norm. Historically, we've always come in and recommended that the commission set the tentative rate higher than what is actually needed, with the hopes of giving us the greatest amount of flexibility. It's a tool. You've heard me refer to that with the fire assessment. It is a tool which allows us ample time to continue to go through and develop the proposed budget. It is a working document. Estimates are changing pretty regularly or pretty frequently. And like I said earlier, we meet sometimes multiple times a day and make changes, and then it takes some time to look at all the impacts of that and what we could possibly bring forth as a recommendation. But it is our goal to hopefully be able to deliver you a proposed budget at a millage rate of 4.50.
Our staff works miracles.
Yeah, we tried.
All right, thank you. Was there any further questions? If not, I need a motion. Motion to approve. Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
We're approving what amount?
The 4.8, or tentative amount.
4.856.
Yes, ma'am.
565.
All right, 4.8565. No further questions. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. We're not voting on it tonight, so we're just setting the tentative, like we always do.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion passes unanimously. And to approve award of purchase order to TD Thompson Construction, Inc. to replace asphalt with bricks in Joyner Street, the amount of $155,210.54. City engineer.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is a request to remove the asphalt and place bricks in two of the last three sections of the historic district. Those are East Joyner Street, so between Main and Woodland. And then the next block would be between Woodland and Dillard. We have gone through, talked to all the businesses. We work with businesses to make sure that their customers are not impacted during this construction. But each segment will be closed while we do the conversion. We plan to take 4 weeks to do this, 2 for each block. And each section will be closed to all through traffic. So with that, staff would recommend approving the purchase order to TD Thompson in the amount of $155,210.54, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions from the commission?
That would be including the part of the replacement of anything that you just find underneath the bricks, right? I mean, all the repairs and everything, all that's included in the price? If there's any discoveries?
Yeah, it doesn't account for anything that we discover. We do have some broken curbs and sidewalks that we're gonna repair as well, so that when we're finished, that it's a newer looking street.
And that's already included in?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
Motion to approve the TD Thompson construction?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Recommendation to approve authorizing the city manager to execute and renew the farmer's market license agreement between the city of Winter Garden and Red Top Productions Corporation. Economic developer Hutchinson.
Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, good evening. The current farmers market license agreement with Red Top Production Corporation, affectionately known as, or otherwise known as RTP, has expired. This license grants and allows RTP to operate and run the farmers market on Saturdays between the operating hours of 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. This license also allows RTP to manage the load in, load out, set up and take on operations before and after the established operating hours. The city desires to renew this agreement, granting RTP a continued license to control, operate, and regulate the farmers market as described. With that, staff recommends approval authorizing city manager to execute and renew the farmers market license agreement between the city of Winter Garden and Red Top Productions. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the commission? Okay, I need a motion.
Motion to approve the city manager to execute the proposed changes to the Dyson Plaza farmer's market.
Have a motion, I need a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously, thank you. All right, the city commission and convene as the community redevelopment agency.
Yes, sir. Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioner, Mr. Kappelman, and Ms. Wilder, good evening. If you recall, ordinance 23-4, section 2, part D, was amended in 2023 to modify the board member term limits into 3 groups of staggered terms, with 3 craft board members making up each group. One of these groups has a expiring term on July 31st, 2025. The Community Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board met and discussed board appointments on July 14th. During these discussions, 3 board members with expiring terms did express their intentions to continue their service in this board. The CRAB board collectively agreed and the decision was made to advise reappointing board members Ms. Carmen Horn, Ms. Jamie Holly, and Ms. Cherie Hodge. With that, staff recommends for CRA approval the reappointments of CRAB board members Ms. Carmen Horn, Ms. Jamie Holly, and Ms. Cherie Hodge, extending their terms through July 31st, 2028. Happy to answer any questions.
So I apologize, I should have read the recommendation to approve before that, but we'll take this item, this is my fault. So does anyone have anyone else? I don't know how to do this there, you want to run it? It's the crowd.
You have a recommendation from your advisory board. Anyone wishes to nominate other members, they're welcome to do so at this time, but we're here to endorse the recommendation of the advisory board.
For Carmen and Jamie and Cherie.
Correct.
I don't have anyone else.
They've been good, reliable members, and they've attended the meetings and contributed and participated, and we believe they'll continue to. They've got some experience now to be able to move forward with that experience as we move into some more aggressive improvements in East Plant Garden.
Well, I will move to reappoint those members then.
I would like to ask Ms. Wilder if she was from Wilder. Would you like to request, or would you like to suggest we approve the recommendation of the CRA advisory board?
Yes, I do approve that recommendation for those members, and I hope that they will be accepted.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And I'll go back to what I missed. Recommendation to approve authorizing city manager to execute proposed change order for Dyson's Plaza shell construction in the amount of $36,446. Economic developer.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem. As you know, the construction for Dyson Plaza commercial revitalization project is well underway, with completion anticipated next month. Along the way, the project encountered delays with some unexpected structural concerns warranting a reevaluation by the project's structural engineer. While this concern was resolved, it did push completion by approximately 90 days. Since then, material costs for subcontractors have gone up significantly due to tariff uncertainties in the supply chain. This pricing increase affected lumber, roofing material, plumbing, and stucco material. The total change order requested is $36,446,000, which exceeds the project's established 10% contingency allowance. With that, staff recommends CRA approval authorizing city manager to execute the proposed change order for the Dyson's Plaza shell construction in the amount of $36,446. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions for
Larry, think it's worthwhile? A good investment by us?
This project, we hope, is going to be, a good example and a good impetus toward the renovation of East Winter Garden and a stimulation that can build some energy, some excitement, and some enthusiasm as this historic building becomes occupied with business. And it's never pleasant to ask for more money, but we think we've invested enough already that it's, you don't bail on it at this point. We recommend a motion to approve the $36,000.
That sounds like this. Go ahead.
Please.
I recommend to approve authorizing city manager to execute proposed change order for Dyson's Plaza shell construction in the amount of $36,446.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries unanimously. So, thank you. We will dispense as the Community Redevelopment Agency and reconvene as the City Commission. Huh? Yes. All right, so we've got recommendation to approve special event, American Legion Challenge 22 Rock Walk, Saturday, November 15th, 2025, from 9 to 2 with street closure. Planning Director Carson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The American Legion is requesting approval to hold their annual Challenge 22 celebration and rock walk on Saturday, November 15th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Setup will be from 7 to 8:30 a.m. and cleanup will be from 2 p.m. to 3. They are requesting to close a portion of North Highland like they did last year so they can utilize the American Legion property as well as the property located at 8 North Highland across the street for this event. The event will include a stage with live music, tents with veteran service information, and food station. So with that, staff recommends approval of Challenge 22 and Rock Walk event. And I know there's some folks in the audience who are excited about that as well.
Awesome. Did you want to speak to that? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Kirk Eisen. I'm the executive director and founder of Challenge 22. We are now actually our own 501c3. We incorporated about a year and a half ago. We're continuing to partner with American Legion, but as a point of order, it is for Challenge 22 Incorporated. American Legion is partnering with us and supporting us, but the partner will be actually under our name. 8 years ago, I came to the City Commission with a dream of trying to end veteran suicide. And I had no idea where it was going to take us. But what I can tell you is that since that date, we've raised over $650,000 just here in the City of Winter Garden. And more importantly, we've worked with over 10,000 veterans, first responders, active duty members, and family members. We're at risk for suicide and have not had a single reported suicide amongst that group. As I said, we recently incorporated as a 501c3 because there were some challenges with the tax law, and that the American Legion is a veteran service organization that has a 501c19 designation. Just allows veterans organizations to lobby Congress and local authorities where C3s can't. Unfortunately, that's restricted the funds that we've been able to generate because private donor foundations cannot give to 19. So that's why we created it, so we can open our base to more and more donations coming in. Some amazing news that's happened since too is we started to see these Challenge 22 events popping up organically around the country. Through the American Legion and through our visits to the National Convention and talking about the cause, people are starting to do it on their own. And so we see an opportunity here, and we are now in the process of taking the steps necessary to take this organization nationally. Our goal is to, in the next 10 years, hopefully raise, instead of $650,000 over 8 years, we'd like to be in the $1 million, maybe tens of millions of dollars, if we can put the right plan together and get it to happen. Because our goal is to save millions, and you need to raise millions to be able to do that. Many of you are aware that a year ago, I unfortunately had the opportunity to visit the cardiologist and have open heart surgery on a day's notice. But I had a miraculous recovery. And as a result, I stand here today as the executive director to push this nonprofit forward. And it can't be done alone. And I've got some of my team here tonight. If you guys will kind of raise your hands and say, this is one of, probably a tenth of our organization that's out there right now beating the bushes and helping get ready to put this event on. But big dreams don't happen without big support. And I can honestly tell you that had 9 years ago or 8 years ago when I came to you and you denied this, this would never happen. And so when we look down the road and we see Challenge 22 leading a cause to end veteran suicide, but not only end veteran suicide, but to successfully reintegrate those individuals back into fully functioning members of our society, then we'll know that we've done the good work and that you guys will be the evidence of that. So be proud of that fact. And more importantly, thank you for your generous support and donations.
Wonderful, thank you. All right. I don't think there's any questions, but if there's any questions, we just need a motion.
I will move to approve the event for Challenge 22.
Second.
Okay, motion in a couple of seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Hopefully we'll see you all out there walking with us November 15th. It's 2.2 miles.
I'll write a check if you don't see me.
How about you write a check and we see you?
Unless you pour the work you do. Unanimously. Thank you.
You can make sure I don't have a heart attack when I get out there walking.
If you do, I know a good cardiologist.
All right. Number 5, matters from public.
I was just gonna tell you some happy news, but I have to say, you need to work on your sound system. Not everybody has a voice that projects. And some of you ladies are not like Miss Wilder or me. She can talk loudly. I usually talk loudly. But that's just a comment that I wish you could do something about your sound system.
I think it's us. I think it's operator error. We don't lean into it. And I forgot to say, we all know you're Gretchen.
Oh,
And you
well, I
live on
forgot.
Lakeview.
Gretchen Coat, 512 North Lakeview Avenue, Woodland Garden.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me. And that was better leaning forward.
That's
I could
us.
hear this.
We'll make sure we do that.
Please, it really, we come to learn what's going on in the city, and when we lose half of it because we can't hear you.
Yeah, thank you for that input.
Mostly 3 out of 5 have very soft voices.
Well,
So, not naming anybody, but it's hard, you know, and when you saying the locations, if you say, you know, that's where such and such is, rather than just the address.
I'm gonna have to remind this to my husband because he always tells me, Indiana, slow down, quiet, slow, you know. So I'm always trying to be softer, so I'm gonna tell him wrong.
Well, now, here's my
I'm gonna read my own voice.
I had a situation that I needed transportation to the hospital. And our firemen are superb. We had 3 from the Dead Man's Curve Road, Fuller's Cross Road.
Yeah.
And 1 who was filling in from 24, which is not where I thought it was. It must be over on farther west. But anyway, they were wonderful. Pardon me for bragging, but they tried to help me up, and I said, please don't. My left side hurt really badly, and they were trying to help me up my left side. I said, please don't do that. And he said, why? And he stepped back. I said, just step back a little bit. And I stood up, no hands, no push on this. I am still able to stand up without having to use the arms of the chair or the hands. And he asked me later how old I was, and he couldn't believe it, but I said, that's all right, I'll be a different age. A couple of months. So anyway, they were wonderful, they were courteous, they were spoke loudly enough that I knew what they were telling me. And they only had one complaint, and I wish there was something I could do about it. They all wore watches, so they all were able to tell how long each thing was going on. But the darn new, wonderful ambulance has a clock that doesn't work. That's pitiful. And if we need to have I tell the people in town, chip in, we'll buy it if we get that, because I have no idea what it costs to
Fix it.
or replace, you know, I mean, it's fixed into the wall.
Right.
And
Okay.
to both people, super people.
Thank you
Thank you for the police and the firemen. I'm glad you're both here, all here to hear something good rather than, oh, I could go on and on about the traffic.
Come on, Gretchen.
But this is.
Come on, Gretchen.
I just wanted really to say.
Your time's
To
up.
give compliments.
Mama told.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Gretchen. I echo that. My dad had to go to the hospital too by ambulance, and it's so nice to have it in-house and have our guys show up. It's a big comfort.
And have them to be so pleasant and try to reassure you as you're going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. Sarah Wolf, 221 North Boyd Street. I have two questions, or two statements. Is this millage rate of 4.8565, is that including the monies that are expected from the new fire assessment, or is that an addition?
Sure. It would be separate.
It would be separate.
Yes.
So our millage go up, and if we approve, if we encourage you one way or another about the fire assessment, we may not have to pay that additional money.
Well, again, I think it's important for me to remind you and everybody that, you know, the fire assessment, we did the study, we approved the initial assessment resolution, and it was a tool to put in the toolbox. Now we're asking you to set the tentative millage rate, which is an advertised increase. It's higher than the existing 4.5. That's also another tool. So we're going to continue to develop the budget. We're going to bring back a recommendation to the commission. The commission can decide to adopt the fire assessment at 0, go with the millage rate. They can decide to lower the millage rate to 4.5 and keep it the same, maybe add a little bit of a fire assessment. So it's flexibility on both sides. So that's really.
Could be making those decisions with community's input.
Yeah, I'll be done in public.
When are the budget hearings for that?
Budget hearings are September 11th and the 25th.
And did you get that, Gretchen?
So my second question is, I understand from Tuesday's meeting that the Dillard Street project is off the books now.
That's not correct.
No?
It's still a project that is there, but I will tell you that when the project was budgeted, there is a reserve for the project. It was, I think it's estimated around 17 million. When we went through and we got the estimates, the cost increased to about 40 million for that 1 mile road. So we put it on pause. We haven't canceled that project altogether. One of the comments that I made during that meeting is the traffic counts and the design of the roundabouts were done in 2013-15 timeframe, and we've had a lot of growth since then. And we just updated the traffic counts, I think about a year ago, because the last thing we wanted to do was go through and build a bunch of roundabouts, spend all that money, only to find out that those roundabouts would fail, specifically related to the Story Road roundabout. So it's on pause, but the money is still there.
So when will you be making that decision? Are you 5 years from now? But then
Well,
we're
we're still in this
getting-
crazy inflationary environment, so we still see it as a viable project. It may not be in its existing design state, it may change, but it is definitely a worthy project. But you know, obviously we want to see those costs come down.
Isn't it a balancing act between millage rate increases or holding projects on hold? And that's part of this?
Yeah, there's multiple balls that
So
is
was the Dillard Street project designed to control traffic? or get extra parking?
I mean, I think it would encourage calming. Yeah, I think that the design was to add some bike lanes, narrow the roads, one lane north, one lane south. You add the roundabouts, so that creates continuous movement that improves the traffic circulation. But again, I think
Beautification.
Beautification, yeah, which would help promote with some redevelopment. You know, so but over time, with the inflation that we've had, or excuse me, the population growth that we've had, it might be time for a redesign, but until those costs come down, it's a functioning road, and we're not gonna.
All right. And as I said the other night, it needs to be remarked, but it also needs to be repaved. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
For your comments. Any other comments?
Allison Painter, 393 North Lakeview. I have a question. So, this, where'd it go? To Brick Joiner. Why are we Brick and Joiner? So, if you go down here on Plant Street, there's bumps and just divots and all kinds of stuff that need to be worked, that need to be flattened. So my question is why are we spending $155,000 to lay a bunch of bricks where that road is perfectly fine? I mean, it is $155,000. Yeah.
You
I
can't
was
speed
like,
down that brick road, can
You don't need to invest in
Can't go fast down that
speed
brick road.
bumps, it's traffic calming.
oh yeah, you could go fast down that brick road. I've seen people go fast down that brick road. And down my road. But the other thing is this is for the city manager, Mr. Williams. Can you find out why my back alley was only paved halfway when the back alley between Boyd and Main was paved all the way? That was a long time
50 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, but I didn't go down that way. But there's a ton of traffic that go up and down my back alley. There's a lot of trucks and cars and.
Did you ask Bola for that?
I was gonna say, let's call Mike.
No, but if you got a phone number, I can definitely call him.
Please do. I don't know how it goes.
But I would like to know just why it was stopped, right? I mean, kind of in the middle of the
You're gonna have to call Mike. She doesn't.
I remember when that's where we put our garbage was in the back there.
You're talking about the access road behind the houses where like I go on the golf cart.
Yeah, we call it the back
It
alley.
should be, for the residents, right?
Right.
So for the golf cart.
You're saying the traffic is more than what?
Oh, yeah.
Weird.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of traffic. And all hours of the day and night. I mean, I'm up at 2:30 in the morning sometimes, and there's bunches of cars that go up and down there. So,
Traffic study.
traffic study. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right.
You gotta tell me what Bola says when you call him.
Hey, you give me his number, it's not BR 549.
All right, thank you. So if no one else, matters from city attorney?
Nothing to report.
All right, matters from city manager?
Yeah, just one update. We did have our first community engagement meeting this last Tuesday, the 22nd, relating to the proposed fire assessment. We had probably 60 people, I would think, maybe turned out. I'm certain that it would have been a much larger crowd, but there was a bit of a delay in the notices reaching everybody's mailbox, and I think we are all very well aware of the fact that these notices have now showed up in everybody's mailbox. And we have the next community meeting on July 29th, which I presume will probably be standing room only. And, you know, just like with the tentative millage rate, the initial assessment resolution, as a reminder, was about that max rate, and it is our goal to bring that down and as much as we possibly can. And we'll ultimately make a recommendation to you at August 15th. So again, just July 29th from 6 to 8, community engagement meeting.
It's a requirement that we notice at the next amount.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, that's all we knew to do. It's statutorily, we are required to do that. And then you would have your typical public hearing, but, you know, one of the things that we wanted to do is we understood the sensitivity around it. So we decided that, you know, let's have some community engagement meetings. And I think the first one was pretty positive. No rotten tomatoes or eggs were thrown, at least at me. I tried to encourage them to throw them at Laura and Jose, but nobody would do it. But it was very good. It was a great, I thought a very positive, engaging meeting. So we're looking forward to that at the 22nd. And I would just like to congratulate you, Mayor Pro Tem, on a very fine meeting. And I want to recommend that the mayor take more vacations.
Not in favor. Thank you. All right, so this is a little different matter for mayors and commissioners, but it says for League of Cities Annual Conference voting delegate. So I don't know why that's.
Do we have to pick a delegate? Is anybody going to?
I think.
Annual?
I am.
Ask a motion to, are you gonna go? Are you gonna go?
You going?
Are you going to? Okay.
Okay, Eliana's going.
Eliana's going. Motion to approve her as a voting delegate for City of Winter Garden.
All right. Do we need a second?
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're all in favor.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so I don't know how he normally does it.
Whatever you want to do. This is your meeting.
Yeah. So I'll start with you. Do you have any?
I just want to say that it's often, I've been in that position, and it's not as good as the one down here or in District 1. You should turn your head
Right.
left or right.
Right.
But you did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I got.
Good job today, you may turn. Thank you, Mrs. Tope. I'm gonna use this more often so that you can hear us.
And that's, you know, there's 3 men up there too. So it wasn't all biased.
I know. But good job to our staff for always doing a good job, for protecting and serving our city. You guys are amazing. So thank you guys for all your hard work.
Eliana?
And I also want to say thank you to all the staff and first responders, and also congratulations, Lisa, for well done job running the meeting. Thank you, and sorry for jumping over. I was, doing the wrong page, but there it is.
No worries.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
All right, and yes, thank you very much to the first responders and our fire department. Just like Miss Gretchen, my dad had to go, and it was very comforting to have our guys show up and do a wonderful professional job. So, thank you very much, and with that, I will adjourn the meeting.